Today's video, I want to take you to Northern Europe and I'm going to be talking about Norway. And this video is going to be long. So if you really want to stay back and listen to the information, if you want to move to one of the best countries in Europe, you should stay back and watch this video. Please, while you are watching the video, also be doing the research because if you really want to study in Europe next year, then you have to start doing the work now. This is almost September. Admissions is going to begin in some Norwegian universities from October, okay, around October 1st, October 15th, October 30th. Most schools in Norway are going to begin their application, like admissions procedure. Now, why I say it's almost time is because universities in Norway do not have the same application timeline, okay? In subsequent videos, I'm going to talk about all of this, but there is information I want you to know, or if you really want to study in one of the strongest countries in Europe, Norway is actually stronger than Denmark and the Netherlands. You may not understand, but at the end of the day, with some research, you are going to know. Now, like I said, it's going to be very long, so make sure you watch to the end. Then do your own due diligence so that you don't ask questions on things that I already mentioned in the video already. Thank you. So I'm going to talk about the issue of finance in Norway if you are going as an international student and you can move with family to Norway. But the thing you are going to do is you have to move to Norway first before you bring your family over. Okay, I have a family in Norway, but I'm not going to go detailing. Okay, then I'm going to talk about issue of jobs, the tuition fee in most Norwegian universities, requirements to apply to Norway, how the admission process work, then the admissions period, the programs, the universities, and of course PhD. Let me begin with PhD before I go to the information I want to share. Those of you who want to study PhD programs in Norwegian universities, please, most of the PhD programs have been subsidized. So if you really look at some of the programs, like if you take a look at the, let me say the big universities, the biggest institutions in Norway, you will realize that if you've been checking anyways, you will notice that last year, as of last 2 years, most of these PhD programs used to charge about 25 or 30,000 US dollars. But as I'm talking to you, you can study a PhD in Norway with just 7,000 US dollars. It's not just because I understand from our own perspective, right? But it's actually lower now to study a PhD program in Norway. So if you have some money, why not put in for application, and before you know, you would be in Norway come next year. Again, let me explain these details before we go into the video proper. Now, remember, before 2021, 2022, 2023, Norway was actually free of charge. That is to say, international students were not paying tuition. But as of around June 2023, tuition fee was introduced in Norwegian universities. And this tuition fee was not introduced because maybe the university asked international students to pay. No. This tuition fee was introduced by the government. The government were imposing a lot of things. Right? Now, because the tuition was so up there, close to like maybe 30,000, international students couldn't pay. Some universities were even charging more money. So since international students could not pay the fees, they didn't apply. Most people didn't apply. So they noticed that this drop were actually affecting some sectors of their economy, though it doesn't really play a big part. Norway is a big boy in Europe. Nobody should deceive you. So because of that, they now say, okay, this academic year, it is the university to decide if international students will pay tuition or not. It is the university to decide if they are going to bring in scholarships or maybe subsidize or maybe bring it to 10,000 or maybe 5,000 per program, or some programs are going to cost more, or international students will just study for free. So as I'm talking to you, it is not fixed yet that you are going to study for free, but they are still talking about it, and it is not the government taking charge of this anymore. It is the universities in charge. So each university is going to take part in its decision making. If you are going to pay per program, or maybe there is a general tuition fee, or maybe at the end of the day, they will just say, okay, international students, we have cancelled everything. You can now study for free. Yes. Before I proceed, I make these videos here because I want you to listen to me, then do it yourself apply, check your own universities and apply yourself. Okay, but if you watch the videos, you still have a problem, then there is a booking link below. Book a call with me so I can advise you on what you have as questions. And if you still don't know how to do your application or your admissions, contact Milton Fonkwas Consulting on Facebook. It is my Facebook page. Then from there, you book a call. Then when we talk, we are going to then understand what to do and advise you better. Okay, it is not everything I will say on the internet, but again, this is just in case you cannot do it yourself. That is why I'm bringing this information to you. So when you listen to me, do your own 5 or 10%, then you apply for your application and do your things yourself. Now, let's go detailedly. I've talked about the tuition fee update. So to those who are asking me, know that that is what is on ground. Norway is not an English speaking country, but if you learn some Norwegian, of course, for you to thrive well in every country, you need to know the first language of that country, right? English is 80% spoken. Of course, that one is not a doubt. Same thing like the Netherlands, 95%. But at the end of the day, if you really want to get some opportunities, you need to learn the language. This is the same thing I keep telling people who want to move to the Netherlands. All right. Now, if you are coming to Norway, note that you need B2 level to get the Norwegian language. Like you really need to integrate. At the end of the day, if you want to be a Norwegian citizen, you have to try to get the language. Same thing in most European countries. Now, for the issue of universities, because that's why we are here. If you want to study in Norway, note that you can study a bachelor's in English, in Norwegian, master's in English, in Norwegian, in some universities, then PhD in English. Now, it depends on what you want to study. And let me say that if you really want to study something very important, okay, try to study things that are valuable to the economy. And of course, most of us, including me, we didn't have this orientation I'm giving now because we didn't have people to guide us. But I was even telling somebody yesterday who booked a call with me, the person just passed high school exam. So he's looking to go into university. I told him, look, these things you want to study, they are not really relevant. I would prefer you do something like computer sciences, computer engineering, civil engineering, architecture, all those things you get. Now, this is for somebody who is still going into university. For those of us who already have bachelor's degrees, master's degree, we cannot change our situation again. We just need to position ourselves now strategically. Okay. So if you are a high school student, study what you know can pay off tomorrow. All right. Thank you. So in Norway, you can also study a bachelor's program, all right, in English and a master's or PhD. I've mentioned that again. There are universities that offer such programs, and in subsequent weeks, I'm going to be talking about all of this information or giving you all the tips that you need to know. If you watch a video on my TK platform, my Facebook, please go to my YouTube channel and watch the longer version. Programs you should pay attention to, like the universities. We've talked about the programs. Let's talk about the requirements that you need to apply for these programs. First thing first, as a bachelor student or as an aspiring or prospective international student who wants to study a bachelor's program, you need your high school documents. Nigerians, you need your WAEC. Other nationalities like Ghanaians, you need your WASI. Then people from Cameroon, you need your O and A levels. Now, remember, for those other people from North Africa, Uganda, Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, I haven't talked about them, but you also need your high school documents. If you are applying for a bachelor's program in English, note that your degree, your bachelor's certificate must be up to standard. And please try and get the IELTS. For those who are going for masters, they may not need this exam because, of course, if they studied in English, it still advantage them. But does it mean that if you do not have the exam, you will not get admission? No. I'm just saying that if you want to go in as a bachelor student, get the exam because they don't know where you studied. But for a bachelor student, they might check and know the university and the place in which he studied. You understand me? So that is what you should know. Also need your CV, a motivation letter for some universities. And Norway is application free, except they have to change it this year. Okay, and the application portal is in such a way that is very funny. Except that if it stays the same, then this is what I'm telling you. If you go to the portal and you start uploading, they will ask you some details. You input those details. Then at a certain stage, you will need to upload this certificate I just mentioned. Now, if you upload, you will notice that there is nothing like a submit button. When you upload, it just goes directly into the university. Like for other university, you have to upload and confirm the upload. No, no way, it's not like that. I'm explaining in case you reach your website and you notice this. Also, understand that when it comes to tuition fee, let's talk about requirements to apply for masters. Now, in addition to all these things, you then need your bachelor's degree certificate. Apply for something that you think actually aligns with what you did at bachelor's level. It is so important. Looking at the tuition fee, like I said, it is the university to decide how much you are going to pay now per program as of 2026 academic year. Okay, but before it was the government who said, oh, those people from this particular category will pay this amount of money. But now it is not like that. Now, if you take a look at Norway, every link I'm going to put it below, guys. So do not worry yourself. Okay, because I do not have the time to do so many things. So I'm going to put the link below. To those who booked calls with me, of course, when you book the call, it's going to lead you to my WhatsApp number. You are going to see all of that. Now, if you want to apply to Norway, the university you are choosing is very important. Before I continue, there are 4 types of universities in Norway. You are going to come across the normal universities, same like the Netherlands. Netherlands, we have 5 categories of universities, but in Norway, they have 4. You are going to see specialized universities. You are going to come across university colleges and universities of applied sciences. You are going to come across university colleges with accredited study programs. I will advise you to focus your energy on applied science universities or normal university. Now, if you are looking at normal university, pay attention to these universities I'm giving you now. University number 1, Norge University. University number 2, Norwegian University of Life Sciences. University number 3 is Oslo Metropolitan University. University number 4 is Norwegian University of Life Science and Technology. University number 5 is Egda, University of Egda. University number 6 is called University of Inland Norway. University number 7 is the University of Oslo. We also have Southern Eastern University or Southeastern University. Then there is also Arctic University of Norway. So if you look at them very well, they are not up to 12, but they are very powerful institutions. I also didn't talk about University of Stavanger. Now, all these universities do not have the same application time. They do not open their portals the same time. Like Stavanger usually opens around, I think, January the next year. So check all of them. If you are looking at business administration, anything business, check University of Stavanger. It is very important that you verify all these things now. Prepare your document, then you wait for the admission season. Now, this is all you need to know. And again, before you apply to Norway, ask yourself, do I have the money for Blocks account? Blocks account is essential because after the admissions, you are just going to pay the tuition fee. But the Blocks account now is what you are going to show the embassy. Now, remember, when you want to apply for your visa and the university says send this money to the Blocks account, you are sending to the account they gave you. And also note that it is not going to be easy for you to study in a particular country, that especially for you that just swap countries. It is going to be a little bit difficult, okay, because of course the standard of living here is very powerful, very high. Now, to those of you who are looking for healthcare programs in Norway and other European countries like the Netherlands, like I always tell you, it is taught in their language. Okay, but you can always learn the language later on, because of course, if you do not learn the language, you cannot get the opportunity to do 1 or 2 things, right? So that is the advantage you need to know, or the things you need to get. Like I said, admissions will start on the 1st of October for some universities, but others may not be open. So let's take a look at some few jobs. Like I was saying, it depends on what you are doing, okay, and how much pay you are getting. Of course, job will never be lack in Norway, but the problem might be the language barrier. All right. So please put all these things to consideration, and then you remember that I have always said, apply yourself, or you look for someone you really believe in to do it for you. You know what to do. You are the one watching videos. Congratulations to you. We meet again in another one. Bye bye.